Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Men of Yoshiwara Ohgiya, and we are in Ohgiya's route, and it was actually really good the last time. I mean, I don't know, again, I don't know if it's just me, somebody who's watched Kikuya recently, more recently than when I actually played it, like, I don't know, does it just seem like the stories are just like a little more like, oh my god, like the drama is just a little more intense. I don't know. Maybe Kikuya was like that. I mean, I know we enjoyed it, you know, but sometimes when you enjoy a game, you're like, yeah, no, it was good. I mean, you don't remember after a while. It's the ones that were just god awful, and you're like, why? That you just remember. Rage-inducing ones. But I don't know why this one is giving me the impression that it's slightly better. Like, I don't know. I liked the first one. I have no complaints about the first one, really, except for Kageru. He can take my fist in his face, because I'm not a fan of that asshole. Again, his route wasn't, I think I remember him being like, no, his route's not bad, and he has moments, but overall, hard pass, right? But Ohgiya, I don't know, like, I like him a little, so I feel for our little bunny rabbit. Anyway, here we go. We just started chapter 3. A few days passed by. From what I heard, Ohgiya and the others had apparently been released already. I stared mindlessly out the window, interrupted by frequent sighs. All I could do was regret my mistake and think of nothing but Ohgiya. Meanwhile, the western sun drifted closer to the orange horizon. I lost track of time as the hours blended together in my mind. Musashi, are you there? I am. When I called out, I heard him answer from behind me. The sliding door opened, but my eyes stayed fixed on the evening skies. I'll go to Ohgiya tonight. Arrange my time with Asagiri. Asagiri, my lady? I've made my decision. Musashi made a discouraging face and stood in silence for a moment. I'm like, seriously? You should go to someone else. Fine, I'll go to Asagiri. Like, really? What the fuck? It's either gonna be like this, you're gonna listen to your mom, or it's gonna be, really him? Couldn't you pick someone else? I feel like this gets louder every time we play, I don't know. And you're like, what the fuck do you, just pick for me then. You know what I mean? Like, Gakuto, our mom wants us with Gakuto. I'm down for that, we're saving him for last. You'll follow the wishes of your mother? Is that what you really want, my lady? Again, were you not pushing me to listen to my mom, like, literally yesterday? Yes, please, ask me no more. Any more questions and my heart might waver. Regret and guilt had already troubled me enough already. Worst of all, this had all come around because of my selfishness. My actions were unacceptable for a woman of the Some family. After night fell, I had Musashi escort me to Yoshiwara. Why was my heart aching so badly? The darkness between the dancing lights of the pleasure district swallowed that question. All the arrangements had been made. Though rare for a place as large as Ohgiya, they had accepted my visit without the tea house as an intermediary. Strange how some roles bent while others were ironclad. My heart felt empty inside more than ever. I mean, you're coming here to get bones, so why do I need to go to the tea house first? I'm just saying. It's also strange because, well, okay, again, in Kikuya, things were run differently because we were always delivering packages and whatever, and it was like a favor to us kind of a thing. But they didn't have a tea house ever. You know what I mean? So it's just strange. Like, I want to know how this works. Give me the details. Like, I don't know. After waiting some time in the room, Asagiri showed his face. You were going to be our second to last, but you chose me. Why the change of heart? Though I must say it makes me pretty happy. His graceful smile crumbled into a frown. I came to fulfill my duty, that's all. I see. His golden eyes stared at me with compassion. But this is what you really want. What did it matter what I wanted? He had read my feelings like a book. Pushing away from the crimson door, he walked towards me in silence. He turned to close it with those slender white fingers that even women envy. But then, the sound of trampling footsteps echoed down the hall. Is Ohgiya gonna bust the fuck in? Oh, this is so cute. I love it. He's not like, oh, I have to do my duty. He's like, no, how dare you? I love it. It's like fucking great. I don't know. All right, I love this more than I thought I was going to. Anyway, Miss Spacey, what's the meaning of this? His young, innocent eyes looked betrayed. I couldn't stand looking into them and had to turn away. At the least, I was glad to see him healthy after these past few days. I had worried about him almost the entire time. Miss Spacey. When he took a step closer, I glanced up without thinking. Time stopped as we stared at each other. I just love the intense, like, insta-love that they have. It's just adorable. Our gazes held until his eyes fogged with tears. His eyes were every bit as pure as the time he bid me farewell at the gate. Ohgiya. Asagiri's voice broke the silence. The young man's shoulders trembled. Are you sure you want to do this? You're not supposed to be in here. I know. I'm sorry. I might have been able to bear it if you chose Kakuto or Utsusemi. But this isn't fair. Why Asagiri? It's like, why him? He's too pretty. Oh, because if we chose Kakuto or Utsusemi, we'd be able to see him. And that's why we chose Asagiri. So we wouldn't see him, because it would hurt us. It's so heartbreaking. I love it. And being able to see you again is the only thing that keeps me going. Ohgiya. His eyes flickered in the dim candlelight. They reflected immense sorrow and grief. All the emotions I had been storing for days were about to burst forth. I'm sorry, Ohgiya. If only I hadn't written that careless letter. No, this isn't your fault. Then how did anyone find out about what happened? Did someone read the letter before it got to you? I didn't show it to anyone. A booming voice, surprising for his size, shook the room. That is not how we do his voice, so... It carried down the halls and into the night. An apprentice found it and read it when I wasn't there. His hand clutched his heart so tight his knuckles turned white. That was the first letter I've ever gotten from anyone but my mother or sister. That's gotta be really sad. Well, okay. I was just literally... Okay, never mind. Forget it. I was literally gonna be like, that's really sad that your mom and your sister are writing you, but they know what you're going through. Oh, yeah, you know, your mom sold you into this, so never mind. Like... Your sister wouldn't have a choice. She'd be like, oh, but mom, you sold my brother. But your mom fully knew what the fuck she was doing. Granted, was she given much of an option? Probably not. But at the same time, it's kind of like, we could just not let our sons be sold into slavery. Is all I'm saying. I think there were ways around this. We wouldn't have this game at all, and I enjoyed this game, but I'm just saying, I don't know why I get so into the logistics of all of this. Like, what the fuck is wrong? Anyway, sorry. Let's just pretend it's a perfect world and we're okay with this. Anyway, I mean, I'm kind of okay with it, because, like, we get to date cute boys, but whatever. And that's why I treasured it so much. I tucked it away in my heart and hid it in my bag. I see. Yeah. Tears swelled up in his eyes. I wanted my first time to be with someone as kind as you. And that was my wish, my dream. I glanced at Asagiri, who had been watching everything unfold from the side. Just then, a tear spilled from Ohgiya's eyes. At first I thought it was going to be from Asagiri, and I'm like, that's adorable. This is still adorable, but... It reminded me of pure, crystal clear water flowing from a spring. Fucking hold him! I'm sorry, I saw that first, and I'm like, I don't know what the other answers are. That's what we do. Apologize, embrace him, but okay, I'm sorry. If this is the wrong answer, I don't want to be right. That's my choice. Hold on. Let's scroll. Embrace him is the right answer. Okay. I like this, where we choose the answer that we would pick, and then we look at the guide and then go. So I have it hidden, so like, chapter 3 is like, I can see the title. Obviously, it's off my screen, but I can see the title, so I just scroll down and see the answer and scroll back up so we don't see the next one, because when I scroll, it scrolls too far. Anyway. Ohgiya! Huh? My body moved on its own. Before I knew it, I had wrapped my arms around his slender body. I mean, come on, like if that was the wrong answer, I probably might have chosen it anyway. Miss Spacey? His eyes opened wide with surprise. My actions may have startled myself even more. I'm sorry. It's like all I can do is make you cry. What can I do to make it stop? No, this is... I was sad. but then seeing your face made me happy. Oh? As he forced his face to hold a smile, another tear dropped from his eye, and Asagiri's like, God fuck. So like, I'm not gonna get, okay. You didn't choose me, damn it. Just how bad had this been for him? I thought if we did meet, I'd never get to see his dazzling smile again. But here he was, longing for me. This is so precious, I love it. Miss Spacey. Our eyes locked together. Words couldn't describe my feelings. Was this the wild love that Yoshiwara so often bore? If so, what a bittersweet emotion it was. All I wanted was to talk to you. But I'm sorry, I wasn't sure why, but my emotions spilled out. I just wanted to get to know him. Why couldn't Yoshiwara grant me that simple wish? I reached out and clasped my hands softly around his. Asagiri smiled as he watched us quietly. Come with me, you two. You can borrow my room. Let's have a nice chat, just the three of us. Oh. He's such a good wingman. His generous act gave us the time together that the Pleasure District wouldn't. Asagiri invited us into his room. It's like they all have the same room. I mean, that's exactly the way it was in Kikuya. All the rooms were the same, but... I was welcomed first by a sweet and relaxing scent. It smells nice in here. Ohgiya lifted his nose and inhaled as much as he could. Ohgiya, it really does. I love the smell of incense and flowers. When I smell something I like, I can't help but take it in. What is it today, Asagiri? Muskroot or aloes wood. I forget which. Yeah, I like it. Ohgiya smiled with a pleased face. What's your favorite smell? Me? I like incense a lot, but the smell of flowers is my favorite. Which flower? Any of them, really. Oh, wait. There was one that a trader introduced me to. What was it? Ohgiya looked around quizzically as he tried to remember. If you think of it, tell me. I'd like to know your favorite. Okay. He nodded quickly with a short reply, reminding me of a child. Ohgiya, you aren't going to impress the ladies if you talk like that all the time. Huh? He covered his mouth and his eyes flared with surprise. Oh, that's right. Gakuto's always saying the same thing. You've got lots of practice ahead of you if you want to become a courtesan. Practice? It must be rough for you. Huh? By practice, I mean... Don't say that. You'll make Spacey sad. Ohgiya flicked his head all around like a frightened animal. The sight brought a chuckle to my lips, like... This is why he freaked the fuck out, and Utsusemi had to switch places with him. He can't handle this life. Don't laugh. It's embarrassing. Sorry. But I think you're very expressive, and you talk just fine. But I think you're expressive, and you talk just fine. There's no way that was ever going to come out right, so sorry. I always lose track of time when talking to you. Really? I'm so glad to hear that. He exclaimed excitedly. It was clear there was no shred of falsehood in his words. And talking to you feels like talking to a long-lost friend. You're so upfront and honest and adorable. Was that because he had been raised by such loving brothers? What about me? What kind of person was I in his eyes? Oh, but I always wished I could be manlier like Gakuto and Utsusemi. His brow furrowed on his troubled face. Had he been hurt by my compliment? If so, I felt bad for saying it. But because he was so honest, I could be too. He laughed, silently embarrassed. Oh, slightly embarrassed. Wow, I read that wrong. But I'm really happy with the way things are. Me too. You don't need to change anything. I replied, believing that from the bottom of my heart. This is sad. Because we're never going to get to be with it. Okay, it was waiting for me to click again for some reason. Why? I don't know. After a long time talking with Ohgiya, Asagiri let a huge yawn and leapt up in bed. While we were talking, he'd apparently lied down and started drinking alone. He set down the tray holding his cup and bottle of sake. Sorry, but I've got to step out for a bit. I completely forgot the manager wanted to speak with me. Oh, then I should... It's okay. You stay here and keep Spacey company. Thank you. Asagiri walked out of his bedroom after flashing us a kind smile. He's like, it's okay, you stay here and talk. He's using air quotes. To Spacey. And we're idiots and we're just actually going to talk because, you know, we can't get the sex until like the last like chapter or so. So, of course, that meant the two of us were alone in the room. And now I'm kind of nervous. Isn't this the first time we've been alone together? Yeah, guess so. Putting into words made it that much more awkward. I had to look away from his face. Miss Spacey? His big round eyes stared at me with worry. Ohgiya? Yeah. After some thought, I looked back and returned his gaze. Could you stop calling me Miss Spacey? You don't like it? That's not it. It's just, now that we know each other better, it just sounds so distant when you say it like that. He tilted his head and looked at me curiously. If you're okay with it, can I just call you Spacey from now on? He asked with an innocent smile. I looked back, slightly embarrassed. That's fine with me. After all, with what you did the other night, I remembered back to the banquet. Sorry. The memory of that sake sweet kiss came to mind. As the thought warmed me up, I covered my lips with my fingers. His face quickly blossomed into a bright red. I don't remember it at all. I'm sorry. Was it really that bad? His eyes trembled weakly as he stared at me. He is like, okay, I'm not sure if he's a trembling baby bunny or like an awkward baby deer that can barely walk. Like, I'm not even sure, but he's some kind of adorable baby animal. It's like, I'm not sure, like, I'm like I know where this is going, and I'm like, ooh, that's awkward and weird, but I still want to just, like, pet it, like, oh, I just want to hold him, you poor precious thing. And it's okay for her. But, like, personally, yeah, no, I think I would probably drive me crazy to, like, be like, you're such a cute little baby deer, but I don't want to actually date you. But it's still a good route. He's still adorable. And I still think the route's so far well written, so, you know, with the angstiness. I pinched my bottom lip between my fingers. It wasn't so bad. Actually, really, if it was, I wouldn't be here talking to you. His eyes widened and he looked at me in shock, but he quickly shrunk down and tucked in his shoulders. I still shouldn't have done it, but I wish I could at least remember. Yeah, if I had the choice, would I want him to remember? Of course you would. It had been my first kiss. I meekly asked in a quiet voice. First time that's happened? Do you always get like that? Do you get drunk easily? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Do you always get like that? I mean, that seems almost a little insulting, I feel like. And do you get drunk easily? Like, but then again, first time that's happened almost implies that you're asking because you think it isn't the first time it's happened. I don't know if any of these are really good. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess before I check the guide, I mean, we already know he gets drunk easily, right? But that might be the safest. All right, I would have gone with, do you get drunk easily? Well, wait, hold on. Do you always get like that? That one, I don't know. That one does not. First time that's happened? Maybe first time that's happened. Maybe that's the safest to me. Okay, whew, that's actually the right one. Do you get drunk easily is the second best. So, okay, all right. And I was right. Do you always get like that? It just sounds awful. Okay, wow. Proud of me. The first time that's happened? You really think that happens every day? Even if I drink for it to get that bad? He fumbled for words while his eyes danced away from me. It's not fair that I forgot everything. And that was my first kiss with a girl, too. His face looked downright forlorn. Would I have felt the same way if the tables were turned? Without a doubt, I thought. I stared upwards into his tiny face. Miss Spacey? Wait, sorry. It's just Spacey now. He covered his mouth as if troubled. Why don't you practice saying it? My heart fluttered in anticipation. It's kind of adorable, though, because, like, she's kind of more awkward with the, like, you know, well-versed courtesans. But in this one, she's like, why don't you just try saying my name? And he's like, oh, okay. And he's the awkward one, and it's actually kind of... I guess it's kind of nice because she's awkward, but less awkward than he is. So it's a little nice change, I guess. Just what had come over me to ask that? Okay. Spacey... Does it sound strange? His question prodded my heart. I reached out and touched his hand resting on the floor. It's not strange at all. I like when you say it. His fingers locked with mine. Slowly, as if afraid of what might happen, they intertwined. A deep breath of scented air tried to calm my racing heart. But then, our fingers brushed against something solid. Is this Asagiri's cup? A scarlet cup was decorated with a gold leaf inlay of delicate flowers. The vivid red stole my gaze, hypnotizing me. Ohgiya? He looked towards me, face painted red by the glowing flames of the lantern. What is it? Spacey? As if drawn together, our faces came nearer. Oh my god, are we gonna kiss? The guide says there's a CG. His soft before chapter 4 somewhere, so I'm assuming around here. His soft lips trembled as if wanting to say something. Do you think I could kiss you again? Oh! They're two little baby deers. Huh? It's not fair for only you to remember. His fingers pulled away and curled around mine once more, as if waiting for something. But I was too afraid to take the first step. You want to do it again? I mean, it's not your first time, so, like, what if? I felt his breath. It was fast and warm. It was the same as mine. I think so. Ohgiya. Our fingers came together once more. Let's forget it ever happened and do it again. No? I thought to myself, the kiss? Yeah. No, the getting drunk and me forgetting the kiss. Girl, come on, don't be stupid. His pleading eyes made me too afraid to answer, so I slowly nodded. Spacey. My eyes caught by his gaze. He ran his fingers through my hair. He calmly glanced once about the room. Taking the nearby cup in hand, he took one quick sip of the sake. I watched his slender throat as he lifted it back. And then, like a butterfly landing on a flower, his lips gently pressed against mine. This is the perfect CG spot. Come on. There you go. This is like the fastest we've ever been kissed. Isn't it? I think it is. Where did we get kissed in Utsusami? Well, we did go to him on the third night, and I think that's when he... Yeah, you know what? Maybe that is when it started. I just feel like we always have to wait so long. This is nice. I like this. I mean, granted, considering where we are, you'd think. But I'm not moaning. It was a tender kiss. It felt fresh, as if it were truly my very first. Perhaps because this time my eyes weren't tied shut. Whoops, wow. He kissed me deeper, enough so that the warm liquid spilled into my mouth. I don't know what is their obsession about spitting sake into your mouth, because that just seems like kind of gross. Like, look, it's not like, well, it's gross because there's spit's mixed in with that. Because, like, you're going to make out and get spit in your mouth from the other person. But, like, it's like, let me take a swig of the soda, spit it back out, and then here you go drink it. It's gross! Like, that's fucking weird. So, like, here, hold on. Let me spit it. What kind of baby bird bullshit is this? Like, it's a line that just is too much for me. Like, if someone tried to do that in real life, I'd be like, that's kind of gross. Like, I know we're going to swap spit and all, but there's just something about you having some kind of a drink in your mouth and then trying to spit it into mine. That just seems kind of just bleh. I don't know. It's just not my kink. So anyway, it was sweet yet bitter, the flavor of adults. That sounds weird, but at the same time crisp, like the first spring leaves. Both the sake and the kiss were enough to make my mind spin. Spacey is so soft. I'm not moaning. The mming. And I'm not awing either. Look, it's just gonna come out awkward, and it's already awkward having to read some of this stuff, but like the mming and awing. Yeah, no. No, because I'd have to actually like legit, and then it just, that sounds inappropriate. Look. I don't want to get demonetized for that shit, so. My throat trembled as I swallowed. A burning sensation trickled down my throat. I need all the pennies I can get. Oh, definitely not moaning and awing, emming and awing then. Ohgiya, our long kiss finally came to an end. I opened my eyes slightly, peeking at his face. The manager and Ohgiya are standing there like, the fuck? It was softly shining from the faint lights of the dim room. That's our first kiss, right? Yes. As we glanced at each other, my face broiled with heat. The remaining sake I licked off my lips and swallowed, warming my throat. The warmth inside of me wasn't just from the sake. His slim fingers traced across my lips as if making sure they were real. Spacey, I want to stay close to you. Me too. Even if the pleasure district wouldn't permit it, I wanted to be with this man. I wanted to know him more than anyone else. Again, I just love how intense her passion. You talking to the birdies outside? What birdie is that? What type of birdie is making that noise? It's not the cardinal, he's gone. It sounds almost like a car alarm. Like wee 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 woo wee woo wee woo wee woo. But like cuter, but it's like making a noise like that. And now my bird's going ballistic. He's like running around. He's like, oh my god, there's a bird out there. It's usually why he's such a fucking asshole. Like sometimes he's cute talking to the birds outside, and other times he goes, and he makes god awful noises, and I want to like choke him. Not right now. You're being cute right now. Yeah, that's cute. That's cute. And it's cute when you scream, hey, 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 to the birds outside. Yeah. But you gotta stop with the, like, death scream. Like, I don't know where you learned that, but anyway. I wanted to know him more than anyone else. Was this the love that everyone spoke about? He gave me little time to even think about it. Spacey, Once more, his lips fell upon mine. Those innocent, youthful lips of his. They were like a budding flower, fragile and sweet. Realization of love. Oh. And we're gonna have to, like, fight through, like, half the game, like, pining for him. Oh, this is actually kind of cute, though. I stared at the empty letter before me. After having that kiss, we started writing letters to each other. Closing my eyes, I could still remember the sensation vividly. Just how was I supposed to convey my feelings to him? I think the sad part is, if they pawn him off on a woman that's got more experience, like, here's the thing, right? Oh, we want a woman who's had some experience, so obviously, like, her courtesan is retired or some shit, right? She needs a new one. Or been purchased, you know, because, you know, look, we bought Utsusemi's freedom, so anyone that was seeing him would have to go find someone else, and you would have to let them, hey, your husband's gone, so you're going to have to find a new, like, you know what I mean? They're not going to turn down money. Hey, Utsusemi retired? Sorry, we're not taking your money. It'd be like, now you have to find a new courtesan. I'm sure that's how it works. You know, otherwise there would be no experienced women for this kid to work on, is all I'm saying, right? But, so they want an experienced woman, but then it's like, so once she pops his cherry, then it's like, oh, well, now you can see him. Oh, cool. Because aside from we went to see Asagiri, before that, we hadn't made a choice. So technically, we're a free agent. But that's also sad to think, like, well, hey, I mean, all we have to do is just wait for him to be deflowered, and then we can be like, so now can I have him? But then that ruins it, because you're like, oh, but the cute innocentness of them both having their first kiss together and their first everything, and it's kind of adorable. Little Bambi's learning how to walk on their wobbly little baby deer legs. And then, like, that's taken away because, you know, some creepy old hag like me is like, I'll take the little boy's virginity. That's so disgusting. Should not have said it that way. I'm sure. The young man. What is it, like maybe 20? Maybe. Ugh. It's still weird. But like, we want an older lady. Oh god, like you really want a fucking cougar up in that shit. Like, that's slightly... I mean, I get it. So that he learns what to do, because it's really hard if you've got two little virgins fumbling around and then you're like, okay, now go to someone who's experienced. Oh, you poor thing, you're never gonna learn. Like, you know what I mean? But, man, is that where we're gonna... I mean, look, in all the other routes, we know that our man friends have, like, had other lady friends, okay? But it'd be kind of sad in this one to be like, I mean, we just have to wait for... Oh, that kind of makes it sad a little. It's a little bittersweet, right? You're like, we may be able to have him in the end, but he had to be deflowered by that old lady in the corner. Old lady Spacey over there. Got here first, planted my flag. I mean, you know, wow. Just how was I supposed to convey my feelings to him? Sorry, I read that already. He made me feel happier than I've ever been just by thinking about him. That's so adorable and sweet. I love it. And it's like, you're like, I want that feeling again. No, because then there's always the rip your heart out stomp on it where you're like, I just want to curl up in a ball and die. And I don't want to ever have that feeling again. So dying alone is easier. Thank you very much. Anyway, meanwhile, noon came and went. I'd called a few traders that worked with the Sommet family to the shop. Lately, the silk prints from the mainland have been all... Oh, I'm sorry. Traders. They're probably ladies. I don't know. Well, anyway. Lately, the silk prints from the mainland have been all the rage. Look at these! These right here are perfect for the season! The designs are beautiful, but they're not exactly what I'm looking for. Don't you have anything a little more cheerful? I'd seen at least a dozen already, but none had caught my eye. My lady, if you're looking for new fabrics... Oh, this is just for something I wanted to send to Geha. To a Geha? He's going to be deflowered soon, right? Oh! And she's totally cool with this. She's like, that's cool, then I can see him afterward. He'll make use of it sooner or later. But my lady, when an apprentice is deflowered... He stopped short, seemingly reluctant to continue. Is there any problem with sending an apprentice a gift? Not at all, but... My bodyguard clamped his mouth shut with a boorish face. I ignored him and let myself feel happier than ever. I mean, she knows what deflowering is. Okay, she's not stupid. I understand that she's not quite prepared for what goes down there, which is bad on our mom for not teaching us sex education. But I think she understands what deflowered means. But I feel like with Musashi, he's like, what? There's something else to it. Like, oh, he's going to be deflowered, but he's only with that woman for the next 2 years because you train some kind of weird, stupid training rule bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like he's getting at. Not like, you know, deflowered means he's going to have to fuck some strange lady, right? Yeah, I'm aware, Musashi. Jesus Christ. Look, my mom skimped on the sex education, but not that much. I mean, I know where babies come from. Obviously, I know what they're doing. Like, perhaps I couldn't invite a Geha to a banquet like a courtesan, but I could still do things to thank Asagiri and the others that looked out for us. Fortunately, a Geha's deflowering wasn't going to be anytime soon. That means it's still possible to gain favor with the owner and manager. I'm just not liking anything I've seen so far. I'm looking for something cheerful, but still with a sense of beauty. This is rare. I've never seen you so distraught before. You can usually pick out what you want straight away. True, it's just not happening today. Had my sense of style suddenly taken a plummet? The female trader glanced at me and smiled. Ah, so trader number 1 is a female and I made trader number... It's okay. Whatever. It's always difficult to pick out something for one's lover. Huh? Should we switch the voice? Okay, so we'll just switch and pretend trader number 1 was the woman and trader number 2. It doesn't matter, but 1 was a woman. We gave a woman voice to 1 and we just had the wrong one. Anyway. Oh, was that too rash of me? Her laughter rang like a bell. Man, just what was she saying? Oh, well, I guess I just can't decide. A few days before, I had sent a letter to a Geha saying I'd be stopping by. I'd wanted to bring him a gift when I went, but would you be able to show me any new fabrics the next time you come? Certainly. I'm always at your service. The traders gathered up their fabrics and placed them in hampers. After they left, I went out for a few errands. When I came home in the evening, I ran into Musashi. My lady, this arrived today while you were out. What's this? A guide to Yoshiwara. I opened up the pamphlet Musashi handed to me. Oh my god. It's like a map of Disney World. Like, this is how this is how this works. It listed the brothels in the pleasure district and all of the courtesans. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is literally like going on a website and browsing for clothes. You're like, let me go to this. Oh my god, this is weird. I believe it talks about the procession that happened the other day. Takao from Kikuya, I believe it was. All the women seem to fancy him. I mean, he's pretty. Is that so? I answered, not particularly engaged in the conversation. Are you not interested? In what? I glanced up at him, unsure what he meant. His face warped and showed disappointment. My lady, I worry for you. It's not so easy to have a geisha as a partner. You'll have to be clearer than that if you want me to understand. I'm saying... He covered his mouth as he muttered with a troubled face. I was thankful he was worried for me, but he wasn't exactly helping. I just love how awkward this must be for him talking. He's like, talking about sex with your mistress. You're like, ugh! Musashi's like our dad, but like not. He's like our older brother, and I gotta feel like it's gotta be complicated for a dad or an older brother to be like, talking about you going to this brothel and getting pregnant. That's weird. It's gotta be a weird conversation to have. And it's like, you're like my little sister, but I'm also kind of like your dad, and this is weird. And poor Musashi. Musashi, you have a great job, and you don't have to like be a courtesan, but you will like never have a lady friend because... I mean, you'd think he'd be getting offers left and right, because, like, ladies be desperate, right? Like, I'm sorry. Oh, look, he's the most prolific courtesan, and oh, he's #1. Swell. Great. He's probably got 1 million kids. I would rather have the sweet, nice, like, bodyguard guy who's just all mine, that I don't have to share with half the fucking population in the fucking village. All I'm saying. Like, the courtesans are beautiful, but they like the village bicycles, and I kind of just want to own my own, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to wait. Okay, well, it's been 2 weeks, and fucking Sue's been keeping the goddamn bike busy. I mean, I'm just saying. But we love the courtesans because they're beautiful, and they fall madly in love with us, and we get to keep them forever. But that's not how it would work in real life. Let's be real. So, anyway. I'm going to Yoshiwara tonight. Please take care of the preparations. I will, my lady. He slumped away from the room with the slouched shoulders. I don't know why I tripped over that one a little. And so, I headed to Yoshiwara once more. And so, head towards Yoshiwara once more. Wow. However, on the way, I realized I had forgotten to bring a gift. Musashi, can you think of a good gift to take? How about a flower? A flower? That'll work. After all, I remember that a geisha said he loved the smell of flowers. He's like, yeah, he likes the smell of flowers. You're like, were you listening? Yes, I get off on listening. Musashi's like, it's the closest I'm ever going to get. I mean, seriously. Although you'd think there's probably some women who can't afford to go to Yoshiwara who'd be like, so Musashi, I'm just saying, scratch an itch. And he'd be like, okay. Like, look. There might have been, like, proper rules in place, but you know, even back in the day where, oh my god, you only have sex with your husband? You don't have boyfriends? You don't have sex before marriage? People were having sex before marriage is all I'm saying, okay? So, like, there's probably a couple kids running around out there that are Musashis from women that can't afford to go to Yoshiwara. Just saying. Look, he's handsome. I'm just saying. Anyway. Oh, whoops! Hold on. I double-clicked by accident. After all, I remember that a geisha said he loved the smell of flowers. I don't think we read that. If I could just make him smile, that would make my day. We turned off the main road and stopped at a flower shop nearby. I picked out lovely white and purple... Wait. Wow. I picked out a lovely white and pale purple... Holy shit. Aqualigia? I can't with that. That's too much. I don't know. Anyway, when we arrived at the tea house, Musashi let them know I arrived. A short while later, a courtesan Gakuto has arrived. Ohgiya and Gakuto appeared from behind the sliding door. You know what's really funny? Now Gakuto's here. Is it because they're like, you haven't actually picked someone? You're like, I want to meet with this person. I want to meet with this person. I want to meet with this person. Ohgiya must have been accompanying Gakuto that night. It's been a while, hasn't it? Indeed. His sharp, seductive gaze was very much unchanged. Cannot wait for his eye. It's supposed to probably be like dark brown, but it looks purple, and I'm down for it. Just then, wow, what a beautiful flower. The moment he saw it, Ohgiya's face lit up with excitement. Is that for me? No, it's for me. The fuck? Just kidding. Yes, I remembered you said you liked the smell of flowers. I stopped by the flower shop and picked out the one with the best smell. Jeez, you remembered that. And that makes me so happy. His eyes squinted in a smile as he gladly took the flower from me. And now it didn't click at all. It's so sweet, but not too strong. I like it. He put its petals up to his nose and sniffed it gleefully. She gave you a gift, right? And now now's your turn to show her what you can do. Okay? What's going on? Wait and see. Ohgiya whispered to a nearby attendant. Soon enough, they came back bearing a set of tools for arranging flowers. Ohgiya? I didn't know you arranged flowers. You do now. One of my close guests is an instructor. She made him try it after she had a few drinks and said he had a knack for it. Ohgiya carefully set down the narrow clay vase. Then he pruned the flower using his absolute attention. His gentle face now looked regal and stoic. Wow. I too had some training in flower arrangement. However, he was well beyond my league. I couldn't peel my eyes away from his beautiful creation. It's like, okay, I peeled it, and I put it in the middle of a vase by itself. Ta-da! I'm really good at arranging flowers too, so like if I went to the grocery store and bought flowers, I would just take the wrapping off and just plop them in a vase and be like, ta-da! Beautiful. I mean, I know it's more to it, but it literally just sounds like he takes one flower and he puts it in a vase and is like, ta-da! And you're like, I don't get Japanese flower arranging, obviously, but like, it just sounds funny. Like, obviously there's more that goes into it than that, but it literally, that's exactly what it sounds like. Okay, he like fluffed the flower a little and just put it in a vase, and you're like, I mean, I could do that. Probably not, because I kill plants, so. That flower would end up dead between the time I touched it and put it in a vase, but anyway. Gakuto smiled triumphantly as he set down the sake an assistant had brought. Impressive, isn't it? Very. I wasn't expecting it at all. He's good enough to be an instructor himself, probably. You hear that, Ohgiya? And now we know what his job will be once he's freed from Yoshiwara. He nodded bashfully. Your words honor me greatly. He slowly lifted his head, revealing his flush, pink cheeks. The adorable sight put a smile on my face. I can see why you love flowers so much now. You can? Yes, they're beautiful. You really bring flowers to life. Don't praise me so much. It's embarrassing. It's weird for a guy like me to like this kind of thing. No, it's not. His shoulders drooped low. That's not true. I think it's lovely. That's not true. I like it. I feel like it's trying to push you to I think it's lovely or I like it, but I feel like it's weird for me to like this. I feel like we should be like, that's not true. Because that's my instance. That's not true. What's the right answer? Oh, I like it. That's not true is the worst answer, but I don't understand how that's the worst answer because, like, that's what I mean. It's weird because, like, he's like, it's weird for me to like this. That's not true. It's absolutely not. But, okay. I like it is the right answer. I like it. His face visibly changed from pink to red. What I mean is that, you know, I think it's a wonderful thing for you to be able to do. I kept talking to fill the awkward silence. Thank you. When my blabbering ended, Ohgiya leaned forward with a smile. Sure. He's like, you idiots are adorable. Kakuto and I are on the same page. Kakuto, who had been watching the entire time, roared with laughter. Just then, I noticed the leftover flowers from Ohgiya's flower arrangement. See, he had other flowers to arrange it with, but they don't, like, they're like, he brought in the tools and he trimmed the flower and put it in the vase, and there you go, it's done. Like, there's obvious, like I said, there was other flowers, things, that makes more sense, but it just sounds so funny the way it's worded. Yeah. You aren't going to use those? It's such a waste, right? What to do? Ohgiya put his hand to the door as if to open it and call for an attendant. Wait, can I do something with them? Sure. Are you going to make him a flower crown? Girl, make him a flower crown. His big eyes sparkled as he glanced at me. All right, hold still, okay? I sat down in front of him with the white whatever in hand. After folding the stem in half, I reached out and brushed aside his silky hair. Don't move. Okay. He closed his eyes as if it tickled. The way his body trembled reminded me of a little kitten. Kitten, baby deer, baby bunny, whatever. I gently pushed the flower into a lock of hair that hung near his forehead. Perfect. You can open your eyes now, Ohgiya. He pulled out a small mirror from his pocket and stared at his reflection. And then, whoa. With sparkling eyes, he reached up and prodded the flower with his finger. It's beautiful. Yeah, the white really suits you well. Thanks. It even smells nice, too. And this is so great. Clearly delighted, the smile wouldn't leave his face. Kakuto, what do you think? Huh? Kakuto. He had been right there drinking just a second ago. Oh, that's me. I guess he must have left for some reason. He was, like, slipping on out. Should I call for him? But now... Spacey... Our eyes met. Knowing what it meant, we nodded to each other. And then... I was like, the two of us began making out. And it's like, the two of us began to talk about everything. How fucking innocent and adorable. What we liked. Stories of the past. We talked about each other until there was little more to say. So you like to arrange flowers too? Yes, I'm not nearly as good as you are, though. Do you do anything else? My mother makes me take all sorts of lessons to make sure I'm cultured. I thought about what to say next. Okay. Talk about him. I feel like should be a good one. But then again, talk about other things, talk about calligraphy. Again, the game, you'd think talk about him would be the right one. But then the game gives you talk about other things, talk about calligraphy. Because we noticed he had pretty handwriting, right? Did we notice that? I don't know. I personally lean more toward talk about him instead, but I think the right answer is probably talk about calligraphy, but it's one of those two. God, I'm so bad at this. It's talk about other things. Am I drunk? What happened? I used to be really good at this. I am really bad at this today. Like, really bad. Talk about him instead is at least the 3-pointer, but when it comes up with talk about other things, talk about calligraphy, you'd think that is more, but okay, other things. I suck at this today. It's a good thing we're using a guide. But lessons aren't all that I do. I've been playing Kamari and Cat's Cradle, juggling too. Huh? You juggle? Yeah, I'm an only child, so I had to make my own fun. I'm sorry. Like, I had sisters that sometimes played with me, but for the most part, I had to play by myself. I did not juggle for fun. Okay? Well, I had nothing to do, so I juggle. I mean, look, I guess if that's your thing, but it just seems funny to me because I'm like, even as an adult now, I'm bored. What am I going to do? Okay, let's say you didn't have TV. The power's out, right? What are you going to do? Juggling is not on my number... Oh! I know! Let me go fucking juggle! Oh my god, that's so funny. I don't know why that's fucking hilarious. I love it, though. It's great. It's so weird. Anyway. Ohgiya smiled, looking slightly embarrassed. Really? Actually, I juggle too. Juggling? Yeah, I think my mother taught me it when I was small. I don't really remember back that far, though. Oh, didn't you say you had a mother and a sister? Yeah, that's right. A cloud of grief hung over his head. But I was sold here so young, I barely even knew them. That's so sad. He went quiet as his shoulders drooped. Had I asked something that I shouldn't have? This makes Utsusemi's route a little bit sadder. Because it's not like Utsusemi never knew his parents, whatever. And I guess you kind of know that their parents sell them, because that's basically in all the other routes, you know it. But it didn't dawn on me until now when he's talking about that, oh my god, in Utsusemi's route, then he actually gets, it's not like my parents sold me, whatever. Well, my mom, because your dad was probably a courtesan. So he writes to them. They actually communicate with him. And so then he's like, sure, I'll just pretend I'm Utsusemi and go live his life. And then you're never going to ever be able to have contact with your mother and sister again, which I guess it's going to be good and bad. Because, it's got to be painful having your mother write to you knowing that she sold you into this. Even if in your mind you're like, well, this is the normal path for all boys born on this island, right? It still has to fucking suck. I'm sorry. I'm sure there were women back in the day who was like, nope, my role is to just be property for my parents to sell to a man. And then I have to lay there and have his babies. And I'm sure there were some women who were like, nope, this is my lot in life and it's awesome, and didn't give a shit. But there was probably a bunch of other ones that were like, this is fucking bullshit. So, you gotta think that there's a part of him that's like, this is kind of bullshit. And, sure, my mom writes me letters and, my sister does, but, my mom fucking sold me into this shit and this is kind of bullshit. Especially because you don't remember her. Back in the day when women were fucking property to sell, their dads sold to their future husbands. They were older, you knew your family, you grew up with them, so you probably loved your family, you know what I mean? I can't imagine if I was sold off so young that my mom's writing me letters, I'd be like, what? Even if that was supposed to be normal. I don't know. So, but that makes Utsusemi's route seem sadder, because then he's like, okay, even if you were like, what the fuck, mom? You still have this communication with your mom and your sister, they're your family. And now you're like, let me just pretend they don't exist and go off with this other family? Oh, that kind of makes his hesitance and is like, what the fuck? This isn't fair. It makes a little more sense. You're like, I can kind of see where that would suck. That whole part of it. Wow. Yikes. Damn. They get heavy in this one, don't they? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I'm just making it worse. Anyway. Had I asked something that I shouldn't have? Seeing him look so depressed was painful for me. Oh, sorry. Don't worry about me. I know. Do you want to juggle together? Is that what you're calling it these days? Wow. Can we do that here? Sure. All this talk about it makes me want to play again. And doing it with you sounds like even more fun. And again, when you read it in juggling as a context of that's what the kids are calling it these days, and then you read these lines, it sounds even more inappropriate. I thought he might have suggested it to keep me from worrying about him. But the smile unfolding on his face told me otherwise. All right. It's good to keep a child's heart. Great. Let's do it. With joy in his eyes, Ohgiya went to call an attendant. In just a few minutes, they had brought 6 red balls for us. This is some weird kink you got. I don't want to know what you're gonna do with them. Obviously for real juggle, but I'm just saying, again, juggling, air quotes. I'll start. Good luck. He sent the attendant away and took 3 of the balls in his hands. While throwing the balls in the air, he began singing a song. I am not singing 1, 2, buckle my shoe, but that's what he's singing. Oh, really? Do I have to? I feel like it's going to be weird singing 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, open the door. I'm not singing 5, 6, pick up sticks. Okay. Is it 7, 8, lay them straight? Really? Well, I'm not sure if I remembered that part of it. I know the rest of it, but 7, 8. Oh, we always sung it as stay up late. And that seems like totally stupid because 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, 5, 6, pick up sticks, 7, 8 lay them straight. That makes sense. Wow. His clear voice sung out the rhyme. It was a song I vaguely remembered. Nostalgic, as if hiding secrets in a corner of my heart. I wonder if that's what the actual song was, or they just, like, put it in there. Because it's weird because I've heard that song before, but I'm just wondering if that's, like, an actual song in Japan, too. Because you know what I mean? That'd be like in Japan singing London Bridge is Falling Down. Like, what? Really? I understand why we somehow ended up with that in America. But, like, it seems weird that anywhere else you're like, yeah, no, we sing that too. What, really? You know? Or Ring Around the Rosie. That's creepy as fuck. I mean, there's just certain songs that you're like, it's weird to think that they're so ingrained in a song that you know, and you're like, well, it actually stems from this place, but then thinking of other people around the world know that too, and you're like, because they're like weird nursery rhyme song. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just seems strange. Because I'm sure that it's like you're like urban legends or myths and like stuff. Yeah, I guess most people know Greek mythology, you know, at least know of it, right? But like, it's not like I grew up hearing like freaking Japanese legends or some shit, right? So like them having like, oh yeah, we have all these English legends would be fucking weird. So like songs like this though, it's like, where do they really come from? And like, are they really that universal? That's fucking bizarre. I don't know. I don't know why I just see you're like, ooh, wait, weird. Because it just seems so European centric. You know what I'm saying? Just, again, makes sense for America. It doesn't make sense for everybody. It's strange. Anyway. Huh. I watched on as he tossed the balls in rhythm with the song. And then I took the remaining balls. I'm not singing, but I can at least read it. 9, 10, a big fat hen. 11, 12, dig and delve. I've never gone this far. And tossed them up, joining his tempo. Though embarrassed, he smiled fondly at me. This is some kind of awkwardness going on, though. It's slightly eerie. For some time, that continued. Together, we juggled and sang the song. When it finished, our eyes met and we laughed. A warm, tender feeling flowed into my heart. It felt like I had just gained something special. I felt blessed. You're really good. Really? I've always loved doing it ever since I was little. It's wonderful remembering your childhood. What was yours like? I juggled and played games, sometimes getting into mischief. What did you do? I snuck off and looked at the flowers by the cliffs near the shore. The flower fields? Ohgiya opened his eyes wide with surprise. Have you heard of them? Long ago when I went to school, I heard some kids talking about it. I couldn't go for myself, of course. I was already in Yoshiwara by then. They only let me go back and forth between school and Yoshiwara. I had to get permission to go anywhere else. Oh. My heart ached as his voice weakly whimpered. But they always looked so thrilled talking about it. I can only imagine how beautiful of a place it must have been. And we're going to take him there like we took Utsusemi. I've always wanted to go, but now it's just an impossible dream. His demeanor jumped back to that of an excited child. On the contrary, that made my heart ache even more. An impossible dream. Oh, sorry. You don't have to worry about me. Please keep smiling. It's not an impossible dream. You can go when you retire in like 20 plus years. If you don't, I'll... His amiable face slowly drew closer. Ooh. He reached out and grasped my hand, then leaned so close I could smell the flower adorning his hair. The sweet scent of spring spread inside me. I dropped my head, resting it gently on his shoulder. Soon, those flower fields by the cliff may blossom any day now. Spring is approaching quickly. I'll bet it'll be as beautiful as ever. Yeah, if only I could take you there. I clenched my hand around his in frustration. It's the feeling that counts. He smiled, already knowing the chances of that were nil. Oh, both of you. We know how this is gonna go! All of us are like, no, it's not true! You're gonna get married and live happily ever after! It's great! Just how many impossible dreams has he had over the years? How many dreams would he have to give up in his future? He reached out as if knowing what was on my mind. Knowing that was on my mind. His slender fingers brushed through my hair. If I ever go there with you, I'll put a flower in your hair. And just like you did for me today. His honest eyes sparkled as he said that in a sweet voice. Ohgiya. He scooped up my hand like a gentleman. Then he turned it around and kissed the back. Gently, like the soft spring breeze in the morning. And so please smile. Always smile when you're with me. And that alone is enough to make me happy. Ohgiya. My heart twisted in agony. Why couldn't I grant his simplest of wishes? Was it because of the pleasure district? Or was it because of the island? I clasped the hand he kissed tightly around his own. Spacey? His curious face came closer to mine. For a split second, his face darkened with sadness. But then, his arm curled around my back, closing the distance between us. Ohgiya. Taken in by his arms, I closed my eyes. Again, the sweet aroma of flowers touched my nose. Someday we'll go to the flower fields. You and me? Yes. So please don't you ever give up on that dream. That young man shouldn't have to forfeit his dream. I didn't want him to get used to knowing that misery. Spacey, can you promise me? His fragile body under those purple robes trembled slightly. In his eyes burned the light of his spirit. I promise, I won't give up. Thank you, Ohgiya. Like children might often do, we made a pinky promise. It wasn't a sacred vow. It wasn't a pact for a love suicide as was legend in Yoshiwara. It was just a simple promise. A wish we both wanted to come true. It served as a reminder, so that I'd never forget to make that dream real. Oh, look at that! Perfect place to stop! I was like, we're gonna have to stop once the scene is over, and chapter 5. So, okay, we have to click ahead because I can't save until I do this. So, anyway, perfect place. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.